BBC One,
4,
Blue Peter.
3, 2, 1...
Biddy has been running up and down the stairs from the control room to the studio floor for 26 years. Every Monday and Thursday, Biddy has given last-minute instructions to 15 different presenters and dealt with thousands of guests on the programme. In the Blue Peter office, she's written and signed hundreds of thousands of letters to viewers. And as head of the production team, she's made Blue Peter one of the most successful and popular programmes in TV history.
It's one of the things that makes working for this audience so extremely rewarding, that you know they're going to remember what they see, what they hear, and you know they're very responsive, and you know they have this infinite capacity to find out about things.
Well, we had lots and lots of cards in, thousands of them, and over 300 different names, and the one we've chosen is Jason.
Biddy is absolutely passionate about one person connected with Blue Peter, the viewer.
Biddy would never be prepared to accept second best.
What makes Blue Peter special really was the vision that Biddy had right at the start. Her alarm clock probably went dum bum bum at sort of 6:30 in the morning, and yes, she lived for the programme.
Could we try a bit of that?
Yes, we could.
Would you mind?
Just a moment.
There were very few powerful female producers or executives around, and Biddy was very visible. She was very, very vocal about what she thought was the right way for the programme to go, and that visibility showed how much she cared and was committed to the programme and the audience.
Now, a surprise for you. I wonder if you can guess what this is. Well, I'll show you. I'll take the top off. Can you see? It's a pencil case.
My first encounter with Biddy was this vision, immensely glamorous.
A blonde chignon swept up, 3-inch stilettos. Just so charming, so elegant. If someone had said, right, that lady is an editor, what does she edit? I'd have said Vogue.
One of the things Biddy always resisted was having a set as such, which was why there was always the famous sort of Blue Peter cyclorama, the white space, and it was a place where anything could happen.
Lulu won't be there!
All these dogs here.
And Biddy really loves to fill the studio up with amazing and unusual sights. Here, it was 104 dogs for a mass dog sit.
And leave your dog.
Almost the entire studio floor was covered with a replica of the Woodchester pavement, when Biddy had the brilliant idea of hanging a camera in the studio roof to show it to its best effect.
2 live shows a week, getting on for 90 shows in the season. She didn't have a typewriter, so she would write the scripts on the back of old scripts to save paper. And at 5 o'clock that day, no person, no thing would get in the way.
And you'd hear those stilettos come clickety-clickety-click down the studio stairs.
Just before we went on air, we'd be in the makeup room, which was requisitioned by Biddy as the office. So the makeup girl would be trying to get around everybody, you know, doing last-minute beautifying. And Biddy ignored all that and went on giving us notes.
I mean, in all seriousness, it's quite a thing to have a bit of that lava. And then you say...
Talking about lava, can I just interrupt something very important?
Yes.
Can we swap the order of handing out lava round? Because as Peter's got to move now, it's better if he's on the left. So hand out lava to Peter first.
It's a bit odd. Oh, but that's the funny, because the funny bit, he gives the big bit to Sarah and I get the little bit.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's the same. Just apply your mind and stop panicking.
It was always about the end product, you know, you're singing a verse too long, darling, cut it, you know, and she was phenomenal like that. She was in charge. And she collaborated as well with you as the presenter.
The pets obviously were a huge part of the programme.
Biddy had a saying, which was that fur and feather are more popular than flesh. And what she meant was that in terms of winning your battles with your audience, a lovely close-up of the dog was probably more box office than a 2-shot of the 2 male presenters.
And there on the floor is our savage Petra.
They were a lure, so she was onto something there.
Mrs. Lux, actually, as you can see, has lots of St. Bernards.
All the presenters were under no illusion that the pets were the most important thing. You know, they really were the stars of the show.
Dear Karen, Janet and Mark, I would be pleased if you could write and tell me how I could get a Blue Peter badge, and please could I have your signatures, please, please, thank you, love from Christina, P.S. I'm a good fan of Blue Peters.
She set up, I think, the world's busiest correspondence unit.
We get an average of 4,000 letters a week, and some of those are answered on the programme, but an awful lot of them do get individual replies.
It provided the foundation to the programme in terms of ideas, and the reward for a good letter coming in, an idea, was a badge.
All children who win badges have index cards, and we put down their name, their address, why they won their badge, and then all incoming badge-worthy letters are checked against this, which means we can send children different letters.
The Blue Peter badge is great because people wanted them so much. And if you have something like that, which really feels like an achievement when it's been done to you, then you're doing something right.
It is a kind of an accolade.
Dear the Blue Peter cast, I think it's incredible how you make so much money from bits of old junk.
Hello. Hello. And we've done it. The 3 million target flashing on our totalizer.
Biddy's philosophy about the Blue Peter appeal was a canny one, and that was that charity doesn't begin at home. And that's why she always alternated an appeal for a domestic cause with one for an international cause.
We actually managed to reach our target of £3 million. In fact, we not only reached it, we exceeded it.
She understood that people wanted to help other people. It's part of good nature, and especially when you're young. And once that was harnessed every year, it became such a powerful thing.
Biddy was a thrill seeker on behalf of the audience.
I hope Tosh hasn't gone for a cup of tea.
This was the moment I'd waited 3.5 years for.
Because Biddy persuaded her to, Janet became a heroine to a whole generation of kids.
The hat's a bit dirty. Never mind, I don't suppose anybody will see that.
The awesome moment had arrived and my heart was thumping. At last I touched the Mary Rose's timbers.
All right.
Bye!
Well, this is one moment where I'm pretty glad that the experts are in charge, I can tell you that. You just have to feel which way up it is.
That was the first live ultrasound scan on television. That could only ever have been Biddy's idea.
Oh, isn't that marvellous?
Sometimes you think of the fear.
What, Turner?
This is unreal, it really is.
Don't bite him.
Oh, hold on, Peter. There's a train coming.
They've been following the restoration of an engine, the 532 Blue Peter. There were thousands and thousands of children. It was an indication of where Blue Peter was in the consciousness of children at that time.
We're having a slight penny down here, a slight problem.
Biddy was always able to seize an opportunity and make more of it. So it wasn't a royal safari, it was a Blue Peter royal safari.
Hey, you king of the jungle. You couldn't ask them how far they've come to Nairobi, or if they've lived in the outskirts.
I'm afraid that today we're starting Blue Peter with something very sad indeed, because yesterday poor old Petra died.
I think however much you're ready for sad news, it's always a bit of a shock when it actually happens. Anna Frank's actual handwriting, and we are very grateful to Anna's father, Mr. Otto Frank, for getting the diaries from the safe in Switzerland where they're kept. Bjorn, Anna, Frida and Benny, who go together to make up ABBA. And first of all, I'd like to say welcome to Blue Peter.
Let's take a look at the one that I've finished.
Biddy is passionate, very smart. She is tenacious. She made everybody feel that their ideas mattered.
Above everything else, I'd say courageous.